like to call the meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag. The first thing on our agenda, I think, is probably one of the most important on our agenda as well. And we have a promotion in line here, so I'd like to invite the chief to introduce that.
Thank you, Mayor. I tried to make the font on this letter big enough, but it would have required cue cards out in the audience, so bear with me. Mayor, members of the Board of Trustees, tonight we're requesting of a resolution appointing Sergeant Kevin Coquel to the rank of lieutenant within the department. Since being appointed as sergeant over 2 years ago, Kevin has been a key figure in the deployment of new technology within the department, from the integration of our new records management system to working closely with our vendors. He has ensured our officers are provided with the best possible equipment to serve our community. His unwavering dedication to the department and its members has many of us wondering if Kevin ever sleeps. Always available and ready to assist. Kevin's broad range of knowledge across many fields has made him a true commodity around Village Hall, and someone others consistently rely on for guidance and problem solving. Looking ahead, we continue to send Kevin to leadership training throughout the state to further hone the complex skills of managing personnel, something that is always a challenge. That said, I have no doubt Kevin is up to the task. This past fall, we enrolled Kevin in a leadership course sponsored by Axon. The class was structured as a workshop with outdoor challenges. To be honest, I wasn't quite sure what to expect, and neither was Kevin. I'd like to share some of the few text messages he sent to me during the course. Kevin, how far did you hike today? Not far, but every time someone messed up, we had to run with a weighted backpack up and down a hill like 12 times. Was so bad. Next day, we hiked by a lake today. I think we travel further tomorrow. My legs are dead. Must be drinking 2 gallons of water to try and hydrate, but it's so cold, it's not easy to breathe. The next day, sandbag, weight 30 to 35 pounds. Just did morning hikes. Had to carry a teammate on my back by myself, and then as a group to simulate carrying your department on your own or as a team. Oh yeah, we're tethered together by rope with no slack. My response, glad you're having fun. Kevin's response, mixed emotions. Kevin, this position is not an easy one. There are many challenges, but we are sure you are up to them. We wish you continued success in your career. Congratulations.
Mr. Rizzo, would you read the resolution, please?
Resolved that Kevin Cloquel is hereby appointed to the position of lieutenant at a semi-monthly salary of $7,871.50, effective February 5th, 2026, in accordance with Suffolk County Department of Civil Service rules and procedures.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Disclaimer, if I poke you, I'm not responsible. Ow. Congratulations. And now Jimmy's one.
Do you solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of New York State, and you faithfully discharge the duties of the village lieutenant according to the best of your abilities? Congratulations.
Congratulations, Lieutenant.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And of course, goes without saying, but this wouldn't be possible without the entire support of our village board. We greatly appreciate everything you do for us every day. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys.
Well deserved. Thank you. Sure. Family members, we won't make you suffer through the rest of the meeting, really. That's, thank you for coming. It's an honor. Thank you.
That's very cute.
The next thing on our agenda, we have a couple of public hearings. So I need a motion to open the first public hearing, which is to do with the temporary moratorium on the issuance of off-street parking variances.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor? Aye. So basically, this is a temporary moratorium for the board to deal with the aspect of parking code regulations. Our existing code has been found to be outdated and ineffective. And in tandem with this moratorium, you'll see later on, we're establishing a committee to study the parking situation and come up with recommendations to the board for an amended code that hopefully will meet our needs more effectively. So is there anyone that wishes to speak or has a question on the parking moratorium code proposal? No one? Board members, anybody? Nope, we're good? Okay. No one wishes to speak, so I need a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
In a second.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Second public hearing is a local law instituting temporary suspension of planning board building inspector authority pursuant to chapter 197 to grant plans and/or building permits to parcels within the Phase 1 service area. This particular moratorium or code is a little more complicated, so I'm going to ask our village attorney to speak on this a little bit to make it clearer.
Okay, thanks, Mayor. I should point out that there is no resolution to approve the moratorium on the agenda today, and I think the plan is probably to hold the hearing open and potentially revise the draft moratorium that we prepared for the board. But I want to just put it in context. The reason for the moratorium is to, in effect, protect our rights under our connection agreement with the county. The connection agreement, as you know, we entered into an agreement with the county after a long period of time to hook up to the county's system over at Grabowski Airport. And that agreement limits the village's effluent to that system to 60,000 gallons per day at peak. In other words, it would be 60,000 gallons per day at the highest usage period of the village, in the village, for the properties in that Phase 1 area. Now, that maximum 60,000 gallons per day was established by an estimate that was agreed upon by the county and our engineers at the time, and it was based on usage monitored by the Suffolk County Water Authority for the 156 tax parcels, it's 50 or 60 properties, in the Phase 1 area. The thing we have to know is that that data which probably included water used for watering and non-sewage purposes, but it was done, Ramir, what do we think? 2016, 2017, at about the time that the map and plan was created. So it's an estimate based upon sort of historical data. And under our agreement with the county, and I'll read it, the applicable portion, when it comes to uses and any expansions of uses or any expansions within that Phase 1 area, the agreement says, the village shall take the necessary actions to ensure the uses of the properties in the Phase 1 service area will not exceed 60,000 gallons per day in wastewater flow, including the following. 1, the village will review all applications relating to properties in the Phase 1 service area for demolitions, changes of use, special exceptions, building permits, and similar applications to ensure that such applications do not increase wastewater flow from the Phase 1 service area beyond 60,000 gallons per day. 2, village shall submit all such applications to the county for review and approval and certify to the county's satisfaction that the applications do not increase the wastewater flow from the Phase 1 service area beyond 60,000 gallons per day. Now, even though the sewer system has been in effect for between about 18 months or more, not all property owners have hooked up. In fact, out of the between 50 and 60 properties, I think there are at least 12 that have not hooked up so far. And that includes 2 pretty substantial restaurants, Margarita Grill and the Patio Restaurant, as well as the Patio Condominium, and a bunch of other multiple residences. So there's no way that we can certify, based upon the level of connection right now, that we're within that 60,000 gallons per day at peak usage. Now, the agreement does provide for a time period. The county was anxious to make sure that it would look at 2 peak periods before it certified that we had excess capacity between what we're using and what the 60,000 gallons per day is, assuming that there was excess capacity. And the agreement provides for an 18-month period after all properties have been hooked up to make that determination. And so as it stands right now, we haven't even started that 18-month period yet, because we have a substantial number of non-connected properties. Now, we are already commencing action against probably 4 properties that have been identified as absolutely, completely disregarding the village. The other 8 of the 12 that we've identified that haven't been hooked up are working hard to try to get their applications in and try to get it in as soon as possible. But we need to get this done really for the benefit of the existing property owners in the Phase 1 area we need to get them hooked up by the beginning of the season so that our data for the season is accurate. And so what we're going to recommend, but it's always up to the board, is that maybe the revised moratorium would just be on for 6 months. That would get us, if the board passed it in March, it would pick up through Labor Day of 2026. And hopefully, with this push on enforcement that we've undertaken, we can get everybody hooked up, or at least 99% hooked up, and then go back to the county and see if there is some capacity left over so that the other people in the Phase 1 area that want to either expand or improve their properties can do so. That's pretty much it. That's the problem, and the problem's created by the agreement, by the limitation on capacity, and the fact that we have to certify capacity based upon actual usage. We don't want to be in breach of the agreement, let's put it
Right.
that way. The
We-
village can't be in breach
yes.
of the agreement.
We entered into an agreement with the county, and in good faith, they proceeded and we made improvements to the Gabreski plant and got the sewer, and it's already been conveyed. The conveyance system and Gabreski plant upgrades are all now under the umbrella of the Suffolk County. So it's under their authority, so we are complying with the contract with them. And it's unfortunate that we had a few properties that held off on connecting. So that's delaying the process in my mind. Had everyone connected in a timely manner, we wouldn't have this issue. Any questions from the board or any public comment or questions? Erin, would you come to the podium, please?
Just a quick question.
Sure.
Last time I know, Matt, you had said you could check you could access that data. Did anybody look? So we know if we're, I mean, I know they still have to do their evaluation, but just curiosity.
Did request like an unofficial data from them, we have yet to receive an answer.
All right.
We're
See, I
wor-
didn't just
We're
stand up
working
for it.
on the request, yes.
I mean, I'm just curious if it's like already close to it
Yeah,
or if
we're
it's
all-
so
yeah.
nowhere near it.
Yeah.
Well, the problem,
Yes.
what we really need, it's very hard to do because not many people have connected, but it would be interesting to get data from last season and compare it to who's hooked up. The current data is probably not that important.
No, I meant like
It's July and August
data.
that's
Right.
We
important.
did request July, the first 2 weeks in July, and then just the most recent last 2 weeks, just to compare
Right.
for
Right.
what, like a peak season versus now.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Anyone else wish to speak or have a question? Okay, we will not be closing this public hearing. As our attorney mentioned, we're holding this open for next meeting because it is a critical point, and we want to be able to amend whatever we do depending on the progress that's made with the people that are attempting to connect at least now. So, and adjust our proposal at that time. So, no motion to close, we'll keep it open. And I guess the next thing on our agenda is to go through the rest of the resolutions, so.
Okay.
Kim?
Resolved that the minutes of the Board of Trustees meetings of January 7th, 2026 and January 21st, 2026 are hereby accepted.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
resolved that the police department's building inspectors, treasurers, and justice court's January 2026 reports are hereby accepted.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Resolved that the warrant for January 2026 in the amount of $391,065.38 from the general fund and $2,615.62 from the capital fund are hereby approved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolved that the board pursuant to PVA CBA Section 19D22 hereby agrees to continue the 12-hour work chart through the 2026-2027 fiscal year.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby authorizes the mayor to sign the contract with Alpha Cyber Security Insurance retroactive to January 31st, 2026. Coverage includes liability up to $3 million at a cost of $9,846.88 to be paid out of A1910 insurance.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye. resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby authorizes the mayor to sign the IMA with the town of Southampton for the Fire Island to Montauk Point project.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Resolved, the Board of Trustees authorize Eastern Door and Hardware to repair the police station entry door at a cost not to exceed $7,417.87 to be paid out of the GL account code Apple 1620.426 repairs, police station.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees authorizes DC Electric to perform electrical upgrade at the police station at a cost not to exceed $17,290 to be paid out of GL account code A1620.426 repairs, police station. The cost of time and materials for panel labeling is to be determined.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Just one question about this. Did they have a rain date for this one?
The rain date, they have requested a rain date, but it's non-specific because
They have to organize.
if they postpone it, then they have to schedule the rain date around other parades and other entities that are supposed to, it gets complicated.
Okay,
And they have to adjust, and so do the police.
so subject to weather.
Yes.
Okay. Resolved that the West Hampton Beach St. Patrick's Day Parade Committee is hereby authorized to conduct the annual St. Patrick's Day Parade on Mill Road to Main Street, subject to weather, on Saturday, March 14th, 2026, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., subject to the receipt of insurance documents.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees approve the attached beach rates and rules for 2026 season.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Whether this board has advised the local law to establish temporary moratorium on the authority of the village zoning board to consider approval, otherwise act on any and all applications variance involving requests for reduction on off-street parking requirements for the properties located in the B1 zone district of the village under Article 3 of off-street parking and loading of Chapter 197 zoning of the village as code shown in attached proposal local law, and whereas the public hearing was held on February 5th, 2026, and whereas all persons present at the hearing have been the opportunity to speak on behalf and/or in opposition to the proposed law, local law, or therefore, and resolved that the pursuit of State Environmental Quality Review Act, the CEQA, and the proposed temporary moratorium is classified as a Type 2 action and is exempt from further CEQA review. Now, therefore, due deliberation of the Board of Trustees, the Village of West Hampton Beach herefore adopts said local law number 1 of 2026 as advertised and attached, and the village clerk is directed to enter said local law into records of the village and to give in due notice of the adoption of said law, local law, to Secretary of State.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Whereas the Board of Trustees recognizes the need to address matters related to parking issues throughout the village, and whereas the formation of a committee will assist in the study, planning, and recommendation of actions concerning these matters. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby establishes the Parking Committee to consist of Trustee Rizzo as chairperson, Trustee Mensch, Attorney Anthony Pasca, Chief Building Inspector Brad Hammond, and Police Chief Stephen McManus. And be it further resolved that the committee shall report its findings and recommendations to the mayor and the board and shall operate in accordance with applicable bylaws, policies, and procedures.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Resolved that the Board of Trustees authorizes the clerk treasurer to advertise the beach concession RFP.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees authorizes the clerk treasurer to advertise the kayak paddleboard concession RFP.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Resolved, the Board of Trustees hereby authorize the following budget transfers. From GO account code Apple 1110.101, Court Clerk Personnel Services, and the GL account code Apple 1110.4, Justice Court Contractual Expenses in the amount of $8,000. From the GO account code Apple 1990,
Contingent.
contingent items of the GL account code Apple 1440.4, engineering and surveys in the amount of $37,560. And from the GL account code Apple 1990, congenial item, the GL account code Apple 1620.421 repairs to the municipal building in amount of $61,000. From the account code of Apple 1990, continuing items to GL account code Apple 1620.999 building repair reserve in amount of $77,438.56. From the GL account code Apple 1990, continuing items to GL account code Apple 3620.4 contractual building and zoning amount of $42,538.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby authorize refund payment of 2025-26 tax year property taxes in the amount of $160.59 to the property owner specified below as a settlement of the small claims as ordered by the New York State Supreme Court.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye. Whereas Chapter 40 of the Village Code of the Village of West Hampton Beach allows for the creation and administration of affordable housing units within the Village of West Hampton Beach. And whereas 7 affordable housing units were created as part of the condominium complex known as the Gables at West Hampton Beach, hereinafter the Gables. And whereas the village has been notified by the attorney for the Gables in a letter dated January 30th, 2026, that the affordable units are all in contract for sale and are expected to close on or about April 14th, 2026. And whereas in accordance with Chapter 40 of the Village Code, at the time of the initial sale, the village is required to obtain at its own cost an appraisal of each affordable unit to determine its fair market value, thereby establishing the buyer benefit as fully set forth in Section 40-5B3 of the Village Code. And whereas the village trustees are now seeking to retain the services of a qualified real estate appraiser to evaluate the fair market value of the affordable units, now therefore be it resolved that a qualified real estate appraiser may be retained by the village to prepare an appraisal to establish the fair market value of the following affordable housing units located at the Gables at West Hampton Beach. 1. Unit 204, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 905-4.2-1-8. 2. Unit 304, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 905-4.2-1-12. 3. Unit 404, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 905-4.2-1-16. 4. Unit 504, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 905-4.2-1-20. 5. Unit 601, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 905-4.2-1-21. 6. Unit 604, 905. I guess we should put Suffolk County Tax Map Number in there. 905-4.2-1-24. 7. Unit 605, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 905-4.2-1-25. And be it further resolved that the fee for the said appraisal shall be paid from GL account code A1440.4, Engineering and Surveys.
Second.
All in favor as amended?
Aye.
Okay,
Just
that
sounded
leads
right.
us to the public comment section of our meeting. Anyone wish to speak? You're welcome. Okay. I guess that's it. We have no executive session. Hurrah. Okay. So, a motion to close the meeting. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We're done. Thank you, everyone.